student, today I am going to explain the second part of our story, Princess September. It seems to Princess September that her little bird had been away a long time. Now Princess September was feeling that her bird was away from her for a long time. Something might have happened to him. What with hawks and with snares, you never knew what trouble he might get into. Now Princess September was thinking that the bird was in some trouble. Maybe hawks attacked him, or the hunter caught him in the net. Besides, he might forget her, or he might take a fancy to somebody else. She was also thinking maybe the bird forget her, or maybe he went some other place or some other person. That would be dreadful. These all thoughts were very dreadful for Princess September. Now Princess September, wishing that the bird came back safely again. Suddenly September heard a tweet tweet just behind her ear, and she saw the little bird sitting on her shoulder. When Princess September was thinking about the bird, suddenly she heard the tweet tweet sound just behind her, and the little bird was sitting on her shoulder. He had come in so quietly and alighted so softly that she had not heard him. The bird came very softly and quietly, so she could not hear the sound. "I wonder what on earth had become of you," said the princess. Now Princess said to the bird, he was surprised. "What on the earth had become of you? I thought you had wandered that," said the little bird. "The fact is, I very nearly didn't come back tonight at all. My father-in-law was giving a party and they all wanted me to stay." Now the bird told September that he was not ready to come back tonight. The reason was that his father-in-law was giving a party and everybody wanted him to stay in that party. "But I thought you had been anxious." But the bird thought Princess September will be anxious or worried. Under the circumstances, this was a very unfortunate remark for the little bird to make. When the Princess September listened the remarks of the bird, these are very unfortunate for her. September felt her heart go thump against her chest, and she made up her mind to take no more risk. She put up her hand and took hold of the bird. The bird suspected nothing, and he was so surprised when she carried him over to the cage, popped him in, and shut the door on him. Now Princess September held the bird and kept the bird in the cage. The bird was not suspected September, and Princess September shut the door on him. That for a moment he could think of nothing to say, but in a moment or two he hopped up to the ivory perch and said, "What is the joke?" First, the bird was unable to understand what the Princess September was doing, but after some time he said to her, "What is the joke?" "There's no joke," said September, "but some of Mamma's cats are prowling about tonight, and I think you are much safer in there." Now Princess September told the bird that her mother's cat are moving here and there, so he was safe in the cage. "Well, just for this once, I don't mind," said the little bird, "so long as you let me out in the morning." Now the little bird said if she let him out in the morning, then he had no problem. He ate a very good supper and then began to sing. But in the middle of his song, he stopped. But he stopped in the middle. "I don't know what is the matter with me," he said, "but I don't feel like singing tonight." Now the bird said to the princess, he didn't know what's wrong with him, but tonight he did not want to sing. "Very well," said September, "go to sleep instead." So he put his head under his wing and in a minute was fast asleep. September went to sleep too. But when the dawn broke means when in the next morning she was awakened by the little bird calling her at the top of his voice. Next day in the morning, the bird was calling Princess September. wake up, he said. "Open the door of this cage and let me out." Now the bird is requesting Princess September to open the door of the cage and let him free. "I want to have a good fly while the dew was still on the ground." "You are much better off where you are," said September. But September said to the bird that he was much better at where he was. let me out, said the little bird. Now the little bird was crying to let him out from the cage, and he tried to slip through the bar of the cage. The little bird tried to came out from the bar of the cage, but of course couldn't, and he beat against the door, but of course he couldn't open it. The little bird tried to came out from the bars and from the door, but he was unable to came out. Then the 8 princes came in and looked at him. They told September she was very wise to take their advice. Now they said he would soon get used to the case and in a few days would quite forget he had ever been free. Now the princess advised Princess September that after few days the bird used to the cage and forget that he had ever been free. The little bird said nothing at all while they were there. But as soon as they were gone, he began to cry again, let me out, let me out. When the 8 princes was there, the bird said nothing. But when they went out from the room, the bird again started crying, let me out, let me out. Such an old silly, said September. I have put you in the cage because I am so fond of you. I know what's good for you much better than you do yourself. Now Princess September said to the bird, don't behave like a fool. And she had put him in a cage, because she liked him and she knew what is good for him and much better than him. Now Princess September offered the bird, sing her a little song and she will give a piece of sugar. But the little bird stood in the corner of his cage looking out at the blue sky and never sang a note. But the little bird was standing in the corner of his cage and looking out at the blue sky, and he did not sing a note. "What's the good of sulking?" said September. "Why don't you sing and forget your troubles?" Now Princess September asked the bird, "What is the thing which makes him sad?" "Forget your worries and sing a song for her." "How can I sing?" answered the bird. "I want to see the trees and the lakes and the green rice growing in the fields." But the little bird replied that how could he sing? He wanted to see the trees and the lake and the trees and the green rice growing in the field. "I'll take you out every day," she said. But the princess said that she would take him out every day. "It's not the same thing," said the little bird. "The rice fields and the lake and the willow trees look quite different when you see them through the bars of cage." But the little bird was not agree with Princess September, and he said that everything looks different from inside the cage. Rice fields, lake and willow trees. The bird wouldn't sing a song and he wouldn't eat a thing. After that, the bird not sing a song and not eat anything. The princess was a little anxious at this and asked her sister what they thought about it. Now Princess September was very worried and she asked her sisters. "You must be firm," they said, and her sister advised her to be firm on her decision. "But if he wouldn't eat, he will die," she answered. Princess September answered that if the bird would not eat, he would be die. "That would be very ungrateful of him," they said. "He must know that you are only thinking of his own good. If he is obstinate and dies, it will serve him right and you will be rid of him." The Princess September's sister told him that the bird was very ungrateful and if he died, it will be good for her. She would get rid of that bird. September didn't see how that was going to do her very much good. But they were 8 to 1 and all older than she. So she said nothing. Princess September was unable to understand that if the bird would die, how could it be good for her? But her sisters were 8 and she was only 1 and all her sisters were older than her. So Princess September said nothing. "Perhaps he will have got used to his case by tomorrow," she said. Princess September only said, "Maybe the birds would be used to his case the next day." And the next day, when she awoke, she cried out good morning in a cheerful voice. And next day, when Princess September woke up, he wished the bird good morning in a cheerful voice. She got no answer, but Princess September received no answer. She jumped out of bed and ran to the cage. Now she went to the cage. She gave a startled cry, for there the little bird lay. In the cage, she saw the little bird was lying at the bottom on his side, with his eyes closed, and he looked as if he were dead. Now the bird was lying one sided, and the bird's eyes were closed, and it was looking as it was dead. She opened the door and putting her hand and lifted him out. Now Princess September opened the door of the cage and took out the bird. She gave a sob of relief, for she felt that the little heart was beating still. When the Princess September felt the heartbeat of the little bird, she felt little relief. Wake up, little bird, she said. Now Princess September said to the little bird, wake up, wake up. She began to cry and her tears fell on the little bird. But when the little bird not woke up, Princess September began to cry and her tears fell on the little bird. He opened his eyes and saw that the bars of the cage were no longer around him. It means the bird opened its eyes and saw that he was out of the cage. I cannot sing unless I am free, and if I cannot sing, I die, he said. Now the bird said to the princess that he could not sing unless he was free, and if he could not sing, he had died. The princess gave a great sob. Then take your freedom, she said. I shut you in a golden cage because I loved you and wanted to have you all to myself. Now Princess September said that he shut him in a golden cage because she loved him and wanted him for herself. But I never knew it would kill you. But she never knew that it would kill him. I love you enough to let you be happy in your own way, and she warned that he would live happy in his own way. She threw open the window and gently placed the little bird on the sill. Now Princess September kept the little bird on the window sill. He shook himself a little. Now the little bird shook himself. Come and go as you will, little bird, she said. I will never put you in a cage anymore. Now Princess September said to the little bird that he can come and go with his will, and she would never put him in a cage. I will come because I love you, little princess, said the bird. The bird also replied that he would come because he also loved little princess. And I will sing you the loveliest songs I know. I shall go far away, but I shall always come back, and I shall never forget you. Now the little bird said to the princess that he would sing her loveliest song, and he should go far away, but he should always come back, and he should never forget her. He gave herself another shake. Good gracious me, how stiff I am, he exclaimed. Now, with these words, the bird flew. Then he opened his wings and flew right away into the blue. But the little princess burst into tears. After flying the bird, the little princess started crying. Princess burst into tears. When the bird flew in the sky, the princess started crying, as it was very difficult to put the happiness of someone you love before your own. And with her little bird far out of sight, she felt all of a sudden very lonely. Now, Princess September was feeling very lonely. When her sister knew what had happened, they mocked her and said that the little bird would never return. When the sisters of Princess September heard about that, they mocked Princess September and said that the little bird would never return. But he did at last, and he sat on the September's shoulder and ate out of her hand and sang her the beautiful songs he had learned while he was flying up and down the fair places of the world. But after some time, the bird returned. It sat on the shoulder of Princess September and ate out of her hand, and it sang beautiful songs which he had learned while he was flying up and down the fair places of the world, means different places of the world. September kept her window open day and night so that the little bird might come into her room whenever he felt inclined, and this was very good for her. So she grew extremely beautiful. And when she was old enough, she married the king of Cambodia and was carried on a white elephant all the way to the city in which the king lived. But her sisters never slept with their windows open. So they grew extremely ugly as well as disagreeable. But her sister never slept with their windows open, so they became extremely ugly and disagreeable. And when the time came to marry them, they were given away to the king's counselor, a pound of tea, and a Siamese cat. I hope you will understand the chapter. If you have any difficulty or any problem, you can ask me.